Losing a battle or two is practically a given while competing at the top level of mixed martial arts. But what really makes an athlete great is how they deal with defeat. Thus, in this video, we'll look at 10 boxers who overcame well-publicized defeats with the highest honor. As usual, if you appreciate this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, here is a ranking of 10 warriors who lost with dignity. Number 10. Dustin Poirier at UFC 236. Dustin the Diamond Poirier had arguably the finest performance of his career when he defeated Max Holloway for the interim title. The victory earned him a date with the undisputed lightweight king Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. While the founder of Poirier's Louisiana-style hot sauce had his moments, the Eagle would end up earning a submission victory during their clash at UFC 242. Ever the sportsman, as a sign of respect, Poirier and Khabib exchanged shirts following the bout, which would ultimately be auctioned off to charity. Moreover, the tear-filled Lafayette native gave a heartfelt post-fight interview in which he uttered the phrase. The speech earned him a standing ovation from the audience in attendance and the respect of millions watching worldwide. Number 9. Dominick Cruz at UFC 207. Cody "No Love" Garbrandt stunned MMA pundits by getting the better of bantamweight champion Dominick Cruz in a 5-round stand-up war. The Team Alpha male member would take home the gold following what was easily his most spectacular performance to date. As for the former title holder, the Dominator handled the loss with dignity despite his longtime rivalry with Garbrandt's team and mentor, Uriah Faber. In his post-fight press conference, Cruz made no excuses, admitting he was 100% there and healthy. It also shared a bit of wisdom for the viewers by stating Cruz's behavior following a difficult loss provided an excellent example for young fighters on how to act when things don't go your way. Number 8. Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205. The notorious Conor McGregor secured his legacy as one of the all-time greats by becoming a 2-division champion when he defeated Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight strap at UFC 205. While the win was among the finest moments of the Irishman's career, it was a deflating loss who had only recently captured the title in his previous fight, roughly 4 months earlier. Despite the fact that he would go down as a UFC champ who never defended the title, the Underground King couldn't have handled the setback any better. Though they exchanged many verbal jabs in the lead-up to their contest, Alvarez had nothing but good things to say about his UFC 205 opponent in his post-fight scrum. The former Bellator champ praised McGregor's accomplishment by stating this following his speed and timing were very good. You could tell he's got years of boxing behind him. It's incredible. My hat's off to him. He did a phenomenal job and he continues to do a good job for the sport of MMA. Eddie Alvarez's comments remind us why he's been such a great ambassador for the sport for nearly 2 decades and counting. Number 7. Michael Chandler at UFC 262. For years, Iron Michael Chandler was considered one of the best fighters outside of the UFC. Finally, in September of 2020, the former NCAA Division I wrestler signed with the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The former Bellator lightweight champ immediately made a statement in his promotional debut by knocking out Dan Hooker in the first round at UFC 257. His impressive victory earned him a shot at Charles Oliveira at UFC 262, with the vacant lightweight title hanging in the balance. Chandler nearly finished the talented Brazilian submission specialist in the first, but Oliveira managed to survive the onslaught. Moreover, Oliveira quickly rallied in the second and managed to pick up a TKO victory of his own. In his post-fight sit-down, Iron Mike proved to be gracious in defeat, complimenting the newly crowned champion for not wilting under the adversity he faced in the first round. Number 6. Michael Bisping at UFC 217. Britain's UFC champ Michael Viscount Bisping was one of the sport's premier trash talkers. The former Ultimate Fighter winner had plenty to say about his UFC 217 opponent, George "Rush Street" Pierre, heading into their middleweight bout. Still, when it came time to meet in the octagon, the proud French-Canadian managed to submit the count and become the middleweight champion of the world. Despite the banner leading into the contest, Bisping proved more than willing to give Street Pierre his due once their highly anticipated showdown had concluded. In the post-fight presser, the British MMA legend proved to be very complimentary towards Street Pierre, saying this. Number 5. Israel Adesanya at UFC 264. Since his UFC debut in February of 2018, the last stylebender Israel Adesanya has been an unstoppable force in the middleweight division. The talented striker out of New Zealand defeated some of the best in the business, including Anderson Silva and Kelvin Gastelum, on his way to capturing the title. Last March, Adesanya attempted to make history by trying to become a two-division champion when he moved up a weight class to take on light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz. To the surprise of many, Blachowicz was able to hand the last stylebender the first loss of his professional mixed martial arts career. Though he's clearly disappointed, Adesanya handled the setback like the world champion he is. In his remark following the fight, the middleweight king praised his opponent by saying this. Number 4. Conor McGregor at UFC 196. Conor McGregor received plenty of backlash due to his post-fight antics following his loss to Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. That said, the Irishman has also shown he can be a good sport in defeat. At UFC 196, the Notorious One suffered his first loss inside a UFC octagon after being submitted by Nate Diaz. Afterward, McGregor set aside his brash persona to compliment his rival, stating this following their match. Number 3. Whittaker at UFC 243. UFC 243 was headlined by a highly anticipated middleweight title bout between Robert the Raper Whittaker and undefeated challenger Israel Adesanya. The champion was coming off back-to-back victories over Yoel Romero in a pair of classic bouts, but was also sidelined with injuries for 15 months prior to facing the last stylebender. In their main event clash, Whittaker would end up getting dropped in the closing moments of the first round before ultimately being KO'd with a big left hand in the second. Despite losing his title in heartbreaking fashion, Raper was ever the gentleman in defeat, tipping his hat to the new champ while referring to Adesanya as a great striker. Whittaker also reminded fans that he was only 28 and that he wasn't going anywhere. The former champion backed up his words by winning his next 3 bouts, setting the stage for Whittaker's Adesanya 2, which will likely take place at UFC 271 this coming February. Number 2. Robbie Lawler at UFC 201. Ruthless Robbie Lawler has earned a reputation as one of the toughest fighters in the game. That said, even Lawler's granite chin couldn't withstand the brutal blow that the Chosen One Tyron Woodley landed at UFC 201. Despite losing the title in a surprisingly short contest, the Ruthless One gave the new welterweight champ his due. The San Diego native also complimented Woodley by stating he did a good job and made no excuses for the loss. Number 1. Demetrious Johnson at UFC 227. At the height of his UFC run, it seemed like Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson would hold the title until the end of time. Of course, Henry the Messenger Cejudo would end Johnson's impressive reign at UFC 227 by earning a hard-fought split decision victory. Despite having his historic title run come to an end, Mighty Mouse responded to the loss with pure class. Additionally, he posted on Instagram saying that no matter what happens, he will always maintain his humility. As usual, if the video was enjoyable to you, please let me know by giving it a like and subscribing to our channel. Other than that, we sincerely appreciate your viewing and hope to see you on the next one.